Well, we'll start with some introductions. Mine is up there. I am Dr. Evelyn Woods. I'm the Assistant Dean for Student Affairs here at NSU, which means that I work with a lot of the service areas, things that you might need while you're here. The Student Health Center. Did you all know we had a Student Health Center here on campus? Yes? No? Anybody live by Wiley Hall? Yeah. Okay, it's right by you, so you'll be able to find it there. So we have the Health Center. I also work with Student Disability Services, behavior intervention, crisis management, all that kind of stuff, and also the conduct process. So that's a little bit about what I do. And I've been at NSU for about a year, and honestly, folks, from everything I know about this institution and the things that you're learning today, you all got here at the very best time in our history. And I know you've probably heard that more than once today, and we'll probably hear it about 700 times tomorrow. And I think the natural thing to think in our heads is, oh yeah, that's it. They're just saying stuff. Folks, it was the best time to be here. I have to switch this out. So we're glad that you're here. You're a large class. We saw you all walk by today. So
hello.
We'll see if this one's a little bit better. So we're glad you're here. We've got a whole lot of things to tell you. So we'll just start off. First of all, any reactions to that strengths assessment? It was long? Took you 30 to 45 minutes? It asked you what? 5 different questions? Probably some constructs of 34 times 4 or 5, but we'll go with 5, that's all right. Anybody else? You got through it. Now, if we think that 30 to 45 minutes are long, by the end of your college career, you'll be like, I wish we could do that again, because that was pretty short. So hopefully we're going to get something out of this. And we put up here, excellence, identifying and developing your strengths. We want you, while you're here at NSU, to do the things that you are very best at. Do any of you intend to major in something that you're not good at? Anyone? Do you know how often that happens on a college campus? That we major? Yeah, we major in something that we're not so good at. So we're hoping to help you, not have that kind of pain about things and find things that you really want to do. So let's go to the next slide, Stephen. And let me introduce these guys up here. This is Stephen Woodson. Wave, Stephen. Russ Wade. They are counselors in our office, so they can help you with a variety of things. So if you ever have anything you want to talk to somebody about, to someone who can't tell anybody because they'll get fired, these are the guys to go to. So they can help you out a lot. So I've got up here, can we be anything we want to be? Can we? Yes. Tell me why. Who says that we can?
I don't think that. Because we're like a free country, so we have that opportunity to
Okay, so her thought is we live in a free country, so we can be anything we want to be. That's a pretty good point. Anybody else have another? Talk loud enough?
Isn't that the goal of the American dream? Do whatever you want?
Part of it, maybe. Sure. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Isn't our ability to choose?
That's part of it. So when you guys are talking in the constructs that you're talking right now, you're talking about the ability of choice. So yeah, are we going to stop you from being a lawyer? Do you want to be? No, so should you have to be? No, okay, that's good. Now, what we're talking about here is something a little bit different than that. Yes, you have the choice to be anything that you want to be. You can come here and do whatever we have majors in and that kind of stuff. What this is getting to is that there are some things that we are naturally better at than others. Sorry, you're on the second row and I'm picking on you. Do you think there's something that you could do that you would be better at than being a lawyer? Yeah, what maybe? Any idea? I don't know, something. It's clearly not going to be law. So, yeah, there's something that you can do better. What we don't want to do is for her entire experience here, for someone to keep telling her, you should be a lawyer, you should be a lawyer. Here, let's sign you up with pre-law classes. That might not be very much fun for you. All right, so that's what it's getting at. Yes, folks, we can be anything we want to be. If you want to go and be a chemist, but have absolutely no ability in chemistry, we'll let you try that here. That's fine. You can do that. But that's what this is getting at, that despite the American myth, now this quote, we can have all kinds of issues with it. We could spend an hour on it. I cannot be or do whatever I desire. A truism to be sure, but a truism we often defy, and that should be our, so let's not be afraid to make mistakes in college, because I make them every day. Our created natures make us like organisms in an ecosystem. There are some roles and relationships in which we thrive, and others in which we wither and die. Any of you in here ever had a job that you hated to go to in the mornings? Anyone? Yeah. We don't want you to end up that way after 4 years. So that's what 5, 6, however long you plan to be here. So that's what we're after here. We want you to do something, to find something that you love and that you want to do. Not saying that it's going to be easy. Not saying you're not going to have to work hard. But hopefully, at least when you're done, you like it. Russ here, wherever Russ went, over there, recently switched jobs. Tell us a little bit about what you did right before you came here.
I was in the family business. I was running a feed store. Of course, I have a master's degree in counseling psychology.
There's a master's in counseling psychology.
I guess I'm going to have to get with that one. So I came back and started counseling again because this is my passion, and that's the thing that I found that I'm really good at, and running businesses, not so much.
Which Russ could run that business. It was fine. They were making money. It wasn't like he was running the business into the ground or anything like that. But he found something he liked better. So that's what we're after. So go on to the next one, Stephen, and we'll talk a little bit about working with the right assumptions. Some behaviors can be learned. We can learn to do stuff right. Everybody in here has learned something, or you wouldn't be here today. There are many things that are nearly impossible to learn. That's kind of difficult, especially when we've grown up all of our lives with what? You can do anything. You can do anything you want, anytime you want, anywhere you want. There are some things that we find that are just hard for us to do. Can I learn to be an excellent accountant? I could probably learn to be a competent accountant. I'm probably never going to be really, really great at it, but I can get by. I have to work harder at being an accountant than I have to be as someone who does strategic planning for organizations. It's just more difficult for me. So, what do I want to spend my time doing? The stuff that I like to do. Strengths building, not weakness fixing, leads to success. Any of you ever had that experience where someone says, oh, you need to work on that. You need to get better at that. Anybody ever been told that about something? Yeah, Russ is waving me over here, okay. How does that feel when someone keeps telling you, you need to get better at it, you need to get better at that? Anyone? Is that usually a good feeling, bad feeling? Thoughts? Does it feel good when people keep after you to get better at something? Good and bad? Depends on maybe your talent for things. When you all get into the world of work, you'll have lots of folks who give you evaluations, and typically those evaluations will be about all the things that you can do better. What do you like to hear about? What you're good at or what you're not good at most of the time? What you're good at. Do we hear enough of that? I'm not really sure we do. I don't think we spend as much time in our office as we want saying, oh, you're good at that, keep doing that. Well, we actually work at that, so maybe we do. But that's what we're going for, building up those good things, because there are some things, no matter how hard I try, I'm only going to be passable at. And I'm just fine if I'm passable at it, but Russ is really good at it, letting him do those things. All right, so we're thinking completely differently than most people do. There is no one exact way to solve a problem. Does anybody agree with that statement in here? Anyone? There's no one way to solve a problem? Okay. That's good. You'll run into some people through your lives, folks, who tell you there is only one way, and occasionally there is only one way in something, but most of the time we have options. And to me, when I look at you guys and the assignments you're going to do and the work that we're going to ask, doesn't matter to me how you do it at all. It matters to me that you finish it and you've gotten something out of it and you've learned from it. And as many of you are in this room, that's as many ways as we can get most things done. All right, so I'm hoping you find that flexibility. You're not going to find it everywhere, but we hope through our experience here you kind of get to pick your own way a little bit. All right, we have a nearly infinite capacity to improve our strengths. If we are only okay at something, our capacity is probably way down here. You know, we can get up to a certain point and be okay. But if it's something we're really, really good at, our capacity is high, which means we can work at it, and still find ways to get better. But we're going to be better than most people at something. Okay, any questions so far? I know it's after lunch and you all are sleepy. It's the dangerous time to have you all. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's go into the next. I hear little comments over here, but I'm not exactly sure if you needed me to hear that or not. But, okay, what makes a strength? Talents. If I ask you what your talent was, could somebody tell me what you have a talent for? For drawing? Cool. Anybody else? Any other artists in here? A couple artists? Okay. He likes to raise his hand. I'm not sure if you just like to stretch too, but you like to draw? Okay. So yeah, we have a talent. A talent is, of these things here, the only thing that we cannot work on. Talents are innate. They're born to us. And they're different for every single one of us. The talents that you have back here don't match anybody else's, which is kind of cool to be that unique. So talents are what we're born with. That strengths assessment you measured with the 5 different questions, ask 180 different ways, that's what it measured. Now, when you get your strengths, it's not telling you you're the very best that you are, but that you could be excellent at that. So what's knowledge? Anybody brave enough to answer that? Define knowledge for me. What's knowledge? Can someone do that?
Everything you know compiled.
Who was that over there? Can you say that louder?
Everything that you know compiled.
Okay, knowledge is something that you've learned, and we learn in 2 ways. We learn from factual knowledge. Where do we get factual knowledge? An idea? Books. Is that what I heard over here? Books, internet, Wikipedia. That's, the great, safe, factual place on the internet to get all the right information. So we learn from books, that kind of thing. We also learn from experiential knowledge. How many of you would rather do an activity than sit? I would, and I wish I had an activity for 225 people because this is killing me to do this way. So yeah, a lot of you learn from experiences. That's why in some of your classes, and we're going to talk about this in here, that's why some of your classes that you get to do active projects in will be the ones a lot of you like better than the ones that lecture for an hour and 15 minutes every day. All right, so we learn 2 ways. We learn from books and we learn from experience. Both are valuable. Now skills, what's a skill? Anybody else can define that? Something you're good at. Something you work to be better at. Good. Anybody over here know what a skill is? Yeah, your ability to do something. Exactly. You guys are on the right track with this. Your skills are things that can be taught with steps. If you're going to teach somebody something, you know how you go step 1, step 2, step 3. That's exactly what a skill is. Something with steps that you can teach somebody else. So all of this other stuff, this knowledge and skills, we hope you get here. The talents are what you bring to us that are uniquely you. Go ahead, Stephen. Let's get the next one. Okay, here's 5 clues, and we're going to talk more about this when we get into the course. But these are 5 things to help you know what you're really, really good at. You all have had the homework that you just had to sit there and labor over, right? Read the same paragraph 58 times, worked the same math problem until there was a hole in the paper for how much you erased, all of that kind of stuff. If you're having that kind of frustration, probably not the stuff we love the most. Yearning, you like to do something. If any of you like to play video games, anybody in here like to play video games? Yeah, want to play video games, would rather be playing a video game right now? Yeah, I got that. That's something you want to do over and over again. Rapid learning, that's something you pick up fast. Has there ever been a subject that you were associated with in school that you learned very, very quickly? Like it was just like nothing. Anyway, I see some of our peer instructors nodding. Anything you learned fast? That's a good key to your talents. What did you learn fast?
Science.
Science, good, good. And you like it, I bet? You want to do that more?
Yes.
What are you planning to major in?
Environmental.
Environmental science? Yeah.
But I want to be a marine biologist, so obviously I won't get that here.
But you notice what she just said? It was one question. What do you want to major in? I want to do this, I want to do that, maybe this or that. That's a good clue that she's found something she might like. If I ask you what you want to major in, tell me something else. Okay, and she said accounting, I'd say why? Should say. That's what she would say. That's what she would say. When we find things that don't fit us, it's exactly like that because you can't imagine doing that, can you? So do you think she wants to do that? Nope. You think she's going to learn it fast? Yeah, no. Okay. Flow. Have you ever been involved in an activity and all of a sudden you've looked up at the clock and 2 hours are gone? But video games will count those again. That's fine. So yeah, all of a sudden, it has just been hours and you liked it. I could shop for hours other than, well, that does connect to my strengths. Glimpses of excellence. This is hard to see, folks. I can ask people 2 and 3 times your age, what are you excellent at? And you know what happens? They do this accounting thing again. Like, I don't know. Can you imagine being, well, first off, you might not even be able to imagine being 40, 50, or 60 right now. But if you were and you lived that long, I think it's horrible that you can't say what you're really good at. Okay? So I don't think I like that. But glimpses of excellence, usually somebody else will tell you these things. They will say, you're very good at this. That's kind of hard for us to see. And satisfaction is something that you want to do again. All right, so that's how we know kind of what our talents are. And we'll go on, Stephen, to the next one. And his strength is, okay, the reason I picked this little guy with a butterfly in his stomach, the ability to provide consistent, near-perfect performance in a given activity. Sometimes, folks, I think we're scared to death to do what we're really good at. Because if you're really good at something, what comes with that? Responsibility and expectations. That I know you're good at that, I know you can do that well every single time, and sometimes I think it makes us nervous. A lot of us, human beings, I hope not a lot of us in here, would sometimes rather fail at something than to know what you're really good at and be counted on to do that every single time, because it's a lot of responsibility. Okay? In our office, we have developed the things that we are really good at. We know who's good at something, and occasionally we're like, okay, got to do it again. It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. But it doesn't have to be. One of the greatest things in the world is also to be able to tell someone, I'm really good at this, but the other thing that's right along next to that for me is to be able to say, so-and-so is really good at that. I'm not as good at it as he or she is, and go ask them. All right, so let's go to the next one, Stephen. I kind of like this. You're better at something than 10,000 other people. Again, I think that brings us a lot of responsibility. To be better at something than 10,000 other people. Guess how big our campus is? Pretty close to 10,000 people. So there is something unique about each one of you that you are better at than every other person on this campus. And I'm hoping that over the next few years you take that seriously in figuring it out. Let's talk about Michael Jordan. You all do remember him, right? I'm really getting old, so I have no idea. But yeah, I admit that. So good basketball player, right? Better than 10,000 other people? Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if I'm ever going to be Michael Jordan good at anything, but I'd sure like to find it one day. The worst player in the NBA, no idea who he is. Probably none of us do, because I bet he doesn't really get to play. So, is that person, that NBA player who's the worst and sitting on the bench for $300,000 a year, are they better at basketball than 10,000 of the rest of us? Yeah, probably so. So, and if anybody wants to aspire to the NBA, we don't have curriculum for that, but we'll find a way. So, you are better at something than 10,000 other people, than every person on this campus. What kind of campus would we have if every single one of us did that one thing that we were very best at? Yeah, I think it'd be amazing. Well, that's what we want to go for. We want to see you find that thing. So we're going to talk about all of our strengths, and you all have done yours, so do you have papers? Do you know what your strengths are? Okay, let's find those, because we're going to talk about them. Stephen, let's go to the next one. We're going to talk about in 4 domains, so we're breaking these down: relating, impacting, striving, and thinking. So, someone with a lot of relating skills, what do you think they might be good at? And don't say relating, use another word. So, what do you think somebody with relating might be good at? What? Empathy. Okay, they might have empathy. Okay. They're probably good with people, so you can write that down somewhere if you're relating, folks. Relationships are the thing you do very, very well at. All right, can we be a leader and not be so good and have a lot of relating strengths? Yeah, we can. Impacting, people with high impacting skills are often ones people have stories about. Usually good stories. We hope they're not scary stories about people. Striving, that's the way that we get things done. So will it ever be appropriate while you're here at college to go up and say, Professor, I have no striving strengths. I can't do my homework. No, it won't work, just so you know. But striving, that's the way people get things done. Thinking skills, Those are the ones to where how you get things done come into play. So let's go ahead to the next one. Okay, here are relating strengths. Communication, individualization, responsibility, includer, harmony, relator, and empathy. Now, what you guys may not have heard or noticed is as soon as I got these, I started seeing and hearing your peer instructors, I'm this, I'm that, this, like that. So one thing I want to clear up right now, no matter what your strengths are, folks, they're positive things. They're good things. We can find stuff that you will be good at through all of them. There are no bad strengths. There are people who use strengths for evil and not good, and it better not be any of y'all, so please use them only for good. But these are relating strengths. Anybody have 2 or more of those? Cool. Me. She wants to make sure you see her down here. 3 or more? 3? Okay, you guys are going to probably have to start standing up. 3 or more, stand up so I can see you. I know it's a pain. 3? Anybody with 4? All right, so we got 3. You know, 3, 4, 3, okay. That's really, really good. Those of you with these, you're probably going to find your home here on our campus in something that deals with other people. You all who stood up with 2 or 3, were you very involved in high school?
Yes.
Did you do a lot of activities? Yeah, do you have a lot of friends and people around you? Yeah, you're probably going to do the same thing here. Does anybody have a little bit of a question about what any of these mean really quick? We'll get into this stuff in class, but if you have a question now, I'll try to answer it. Okay, we'll pick one out of here. Individualization. Anybody with that, stand up. Individualization, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you guys, this is good. This is a sort of rare one, by the way. This was the first one when I started working with strengths, and it took me 2 people to find. You can sit. It'll be all right. So individualization. These people, once they get to know you folks, they will know you well, and they will know you well quickly. They have, they will have the ability to really understand who you are. The best thing about them, did you all see all these people? When they buy somebody a gift, they're never really wrong. They will give you the perfect gift all the time. So they probably don't want anybody to know this now, but it's really kind of cool. Individualization, people know people that well. My mom, and if you all get to know me while you're here, you'll know I talk about her a lot. And I lost her in December, but she was an includer. I have 36 first cousins. Yeah, and I do have 5 cousins who are here, and I've not seen any of you yet today. But she was an includer. My cousins and her family, anytime anything happened, they came to my mom before anybody else because they knew that wherever she was home and safe for them. That's how good my mom was, and I think that's a pretty cool talent to have. Any includers like my mom? Very good. That's a great thing to be. A lot of our peer instructors are includers. So, all right, let's go to the next one, Stephen. Okay, impacting. There's not very many of these here, but they're still important. Is anybody disappointed that they don't have any impacting? I heard it. All right, positivity, competition, developer, command, maximizer, and woo. Anybody? Yeah, woo. That's usually a favorite. I see what you're woo back there. Yes, because I said it. You know what he did? That's how we. Okay, everybody with 2 impacting strengths, stand up. You guys are going to leave legacies here. Okay, 3. Good. 4, anyone? Folks, 1, if you want to stand up with 1, go ahead. Let's, which one is it, by the way? Positivity. You ever have a down day, folks? Stand up, we need to know positivity. Anybody else? Positivity? Oh yeah, we're proud of that one, good. Yeah. Okay, the neat thing about these, people will have stories about you and they will love you. It will be cool. People with woo, that stands for winning others over. All right? Yes, back here in the back, there's a woo. All right, woos, we always have to stop and let them do this. Woos, where you at? Woo! Yeah, there we go. So yeah, they can win people over. It's kind of cool. Woos, use this for good, not evil. If I hear about you all being sneaky, bad use. Okay, next one. Striving skills, achiever, self-assurance, focus, adaptability, restorative significance, discipline, belief, and activator. People with 2 or more, striving, stand up. All right, 3 striving? 3? Cool, 4? Anybody? 4 striving? Did we go for 5 for 5? Ah, that's good. These folks that stood up people, what do you think their talent's going to be on this campus? Learning? Yeah, they'll learn some good stuff. You know what? They're going to get things done fast. Those of you who always struggle in group projects, I'll tell you right now today, you learn how to use these strengths and you put them to work, you won't struggle anymore. You'll have people in your group who pull their weight and do what they need to do. So striving folks, they get things done. Anybody in here got questions about these? Any restorative folks in here? Where you at? Me, you. Okay, make sure. Number 1. Do you know what restorative people do for us? Nothing. Who was that? Okay, we're gonna talk about histories. Okay, you're on my list for last here, okay? Okay? Yeah, you don't want to be on that list all the time. Restorative people like to solve problems. All right, we've got a counselor, Stephen and Rush, you guys help me remember if I'm wrong. Lindsay, restorative, positivity, harmony, those kinds of things. Lindsay is one of our counselors. Doesn't that sound like a counselor? She wants people to be well, she's happy about things, and she helps you solve your problems. How perfect is that? All right? So striving folks, you will get things done. Question or thought? Okay, her question is, her top strength is adaptability. So anybody else adaptability in here? Yeah, we could change the schedule 58 times and you'll just kind of wonder too, right? Yeah. How is that striving? Does it help you get you through your day? Yeah. Do you stop when you run into obstacles? Nope. Do you just figure out how to go around them and do something else? That's how it's striving. That's how you get through that. Good question. These are the kind of questions that we're going to answer for you because this strength stuff takes a long time to learn. Anyone else have a question about any of these? Yeah. It's next. Okay, some of that strategic and I think there are 2 that fell off of that. So when we get into class, we'll make those 2 up. It just disappeared. Strategic's on thinking. So we'll check thinking. Let's go to that, Stephen. Thinking, and the 2 that we left off, maybe learner. Is that left off too? Okay. Something's left off, so we'll figure it out. Strategic, arrange your input, ideation, connectedness, consistency, context, intellection, deliberative, analytical, learner, and futuristic. Cool. Well, here we go. 3 or more? Let's go 2 or more. 2 or more thinking. Wow. And again, thinking's our biggest construct in this one. Good. 3? Thinkers. Wow. 4? And we got a 5 for 5? Or 2 of them? Wow. Very cool. You guys are going to be able to help us figure a lot of things out. Yeah? Yeah, I sure will. All right, let's do that one real quick. Deliberative. How many of you stand up? Deliberative folks. You stand up. It will not hurt you. Thank you. Okay, deliberative folks. All right, you guys can take a seat because I know it's not fun to stand. Deliberative. You are the people who can see the possibilities of how things might happen. Typically, when you make a decision, do you all think about a lot of things? Do you think about sometimes the possibilities for everything to go wrong? Deliberative folks, so you have to shake your head or something. Yeah, very cautious, very detailed oriented. One of my staff members is a deliberative person. If I want to know everything that can happen with a situation, I ask her because she can see that. This might happen, this might happen, this might happen, this might happen, which helps us when we're planning to avoid all of those pitfalls. Now, who asked that? Where were you? Does that help a little bit? Now, we can talk more, so we'll have a little bit more on that. I get my phone back because I'm afraid I'm screwed time. So, all right, we're good. So those are the 4 constructs. Let's go in. Is that the last slide there, Stephen? Okay, well, let's just put something up there. Doesn't matter what. Okay, so we've got all of these strengths, and they all work together. Any one of you ever taken Myers-Briggs, MBTI? Okay, 16 different types in that. Maybe on Facebook you've done something like, which house in Harry Potter would you live in? Or what kind of shoe are you? All that kind of stuff. 4 choices, 5 choices, all that sort of thing. There are 34 strengths. Okay? You know your top 5. All right? So think about that. How many combinations are there of strength? Anyone have an idea? Some of you math thinking people maybe? Anyone? A lot. That's a good, precise answer. A lot, .00. Good. Anything else? Anybody guess? What? 30,000. Good guess. Good guess. Now, when we put those together, 34 times 5 in our top 5, it gives us literally 254,000 and change different combinations. That's a little more precise than which Harry Potter house are you in. Okay? So we can learn something from that. We can learn something from that. What that means is for you to find somebody in the world who has the very same top 5 you have, but maybe in a different order. It will take you and 1.16 million other people before you find that person. Okay? To find someone with the same strengths you have in the same order, you and 33 million other people. All right? So when we do this, it's unique and it helps us work better when we learn these things. Now, where's the guy who's on my list? That will get you points for maybe empathy in a minute. I have none of that, by the way. Okay, let's talk. Can we talk about you for a minute, even though you're on the list? Is that okay? Go ahead. You are Dustin Miller. Where are you from, Dustin? Muskogee? Cool. We're glad you're here. Dustin's strengths. Are we ready? Can we see those? Okay, this will tell us a lot about him. We'll see if we can get there. He's responsibility. Good thing, right? Responsibility's being good. How many of you never want to have a responsibility strength? Anyone? Yeah, kind of me either. Okay. Which is good, what you want an assistant dean, right? I don't want any responsibility. So he's responsibility, includer, positivity, belief, and learner. All right. Anyone want to take a guess on what this kind of means for him? Well, we'll ask him a few questions, and you know I'm wrong a lot. I'll freely admit that I'm wrong a lot. Do you like school? Do you like just reading books or surfing the internet, or what do you do? Okay, he plays golf. What did you do to play golf? You just go? You practice? How do you practice?
Get up at 7 a.m., hit roughly 150 golf balls, go play 18 holes, go to lunch.
Do you ever read about golf?
Sometimes.
He's a learner. He's going to find that. He will probably, maybe one of these days, have that little golf magazine or all the favorite sites on the internet might be about that. A good friend of mine who is learning in golf, he can tell you like what the different kinds of, the surfaces of golf balls do different things, right?
Yeah.
Who knew about the golf? I have no idea. He's a learner. He will know more about golf than I will probably ever know because all I know is that you play it. Okay, so he is an includer. Probably has the ability to make people feel comfortable, right? People with these including empathy things, he's fixing her little name tag thing here. That's a good thing that an includer would do. Yeah. Okay, well, he would have. Now, he also is a person who's very positive. Do you have lots of bad days? Mostly good days. Those of you with positivity, raise your hands. Lots of good days, even on the worst days. The delta is positive. Everybody has that but me. Good. Lovely. Belief, do you have deep core beliefs that you don't want to change, that you won't violate? And will you argue and talk to people if it's not what you want to do? How do you handle that? Yeah, when your beliefs are challenged. He researches his beliefs, which would be a what? Yeah. See what we can do with this stuff? So Delta, I think he has some of your strengths, by the way. She's really nice, so if it's like yours, that's good. So we can see these things. Now, I might also be able, if we were to talk a little more in depth, and he's not going to hate me over this, we would talk a little bit about what he could do on campus and how he could be successful here. And we would also talk about other people on campus who could be good resources for him based on these strengths. There's one right there. Sadelta, meet Dustin. You have some of the same ones. All right, thank you for being my guinea pig. That's the kind of stuff that we can sort of learn just by that. Let's give him a hand. He has positivity. He needs it. Let's go to the book sides. Okay, you guys have an online textbook for this. It's through your Strengths Quest account here, so I want to make sure you know where that is. Because when we read chapter 7, and some of us with those strengths that are not found in details will be like, wait, we don't have a book. There's your book. It's an online book. That's where we'll go. This strength side, we want you to know about it because there are so many cool things with it that you can learn. This is Russ here, so I know he's adaptability, harmony, connectedness, intellection, and arranger. Stephen, just pick one of those. It doesn't matter which. And we hope we have fast internet, but yeah. Scroll down a little, just kind of let's look at that page. This tells us what harmony is. Any other harmony folks? Harmony people know Russ. I happen to know my strengths 1 through 34 because of some training. Harmony's number 34 for me, which I'm sure everybody who works with me is like, yeah, that's kind of it. So he can read his description, he can find things to do, find ways to work on it, because he can be really good at all this. Scroll up at the top, Stephen. And all 34, if there's something you don't understand, or somebody's got something and you can't possibly see how it works, go there and look. You can check out any of those. Go all the way to the top. Now, there is a community there, and we will invite you all to be a part of an NSU community. Click on that, let's see if it'll go. And I don't think Russ is in there yet, but when we do that, we'll invite you, and everybody who's in our community, we can see their top 5 strengths. You know, and like in our office, I'll say, hey, I need an achiever, an arranger, somebody to do this, and we'll do that by strength, so you'll know that. Let's look at the online book really quick. Okay, this is the one we really want you to know. So make sure that you can find this, because when we assign you read chapter 7, you're going to have to read it out of here. All right? So if you'll scroll down, Stephen, I want to be able to see some of those. This will be really, really good if you'll take some time with it. It will help you with your relationships. Does it change when I work with someone who has harmony over someone who has, let's say, analytical? Does how we work change? Oh, yeah. Can I get really angry if I don't understand that? Yeah, probably. So we're going to want you to look at that. There's also part of your education. It'll tell you how best to study, some kinds of classes that you might want to explore based on your strengths. Folks, had I known this stuff in college, had it been out when I was in college, which was a long time ago, it would have helped me a lot. So it all depends on how you dig into this. Okay, leadership. Anybody interested in making a difference on this campus? Take a look at that chapter, because we want you here to do that. And also, there's career planning, all this sort of stuff. Now, if we take your 5 strengths and we read those, this book is not going to say you have to be a teacher. The only possible thing you can do with those strengths is be a teacher. It's not going to tell you that, but it's going to help you figure out the ways in which you work best. Does that make sense so far? So know where this is. Okay, so let's scroll back up there to the top. There's journals. For those of you who like to journal, you can do all sorts of things there. So it's just a really, really good resource for you, and all sorts of other things to learn.